Hey folks, Matt Ryder, day 10 of National Poetry Month 2020. It is Friday night. I'm tired, and I almost didn't get to record my poem. So I'm going to record a poem for you today, and I'm going to keep my water nearby. The poem I'm going to record for you, kind of in the honor of the holiday weekend of Passover, is a poem by great New York School poet by the name of Kenneth Koch. And this is one of his final books, one of his final poems, a collection of poetry. And I'm going to read a poem for you, and I'm going to have trouble with it, but I'm going to try to maintain it as quickly as I can. I haven't opened this book in years, and this is one of my favorite poems when I first, and I don't want to butcher the book either. It was one of my favorite poems when I first read it, and whether I liked it or not, it was kind of sort of a biographical for me, just as much as it was for Kenneth Koch to write it. Just replace Michigan with upstate New York. But what about it? It's the collection are apostrophic poems where the poems are directly addressing subjects. So the subject matters are to driving, to testosterone, to my 20s, to buckets, to kicking around, to life, and so on. But this one I thought was most apropos for me and for this holiday weekend. And I'm going to grab one more sip of water. This one is called To Jewishness. Excuse me. I might have to stop in the middle of this one. As you were contained or embodied by Louis Schlossman when she was a sophomore at Walnut High School in Cincinnati, Ohio, I salute you and thank you for the fact that she received my kisses with tolerance on New Year's Eve and was not taken back, as she well might have been had she had not had you, and I had not too. Ah, you, complicated you, excuse me, Sephardic Jew. Dark, complicated you. Jewishness, you are the tray. On it painted Moses, David, and the Ten Commandments, the handwriting on the wall, Daniel in the lion's den, on which my childhood was served by a mother and father who took you to Michigan. Oh, the soft smell of the pine trees of Michigan and the gentle roar of the lake, Michigan, or sent you to Wisconsin. I went to camp there on vacation with me every year. My counselors had you. My fellow campers had you. And Doc Einrich, who ran the camp, had you. We had got up in the morning. You were there. You were in the canoes and on the baseball diamond, everywhere around you. At home, growing taller, you thrived too. Louise had you, and Charles had you, and Jean had you, and her sister Mary had you, and we all had you. And your Bible full of stories that didn't apply or didn't seem to apply in the soft spring air or dancing or sitting in the chairs to anything we did. In religious school at the Isaac M. Wise Synagogue called Temple, we studied not you, but Judaism, the one who goes with you and is your guide, supposedly oddly separated from you, though there in the same building, you in us as children, and on the blackboards and in the books, Bibles and books simplified from the Bible, how like a Bible with shoulders Rabbi Seligman is. You kept my parents and me out of the hotels near Crystal Lake in Michigan, and you resulted, for me, in insults, at which I felt chagrined but was energized by you. You went with me into the army, where one night in a foxhole on Leyte, a fellow soldier said, "Where are the fucking Jews?" Back in the PX, "I'd like to see one of those bastards out here, I'd kill him." I decided to conceal you, anyway for a while. Forgive me for that. At Harvard, landed me in a room in the Kirkland House with two other students who had you. You kept me out of the Harvard clubs, and by this time, I was 21. I found I preferred kissing girls who didn't have you. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and Christianity, oddly enough, had an aphrodisiac effect on me. And everything that opened up to me of poetry, of painting, of music, of architecture in old cities didn't have you. I was distressed, though I knew those who had you had hardly the chance to build cathedrals, write secular epics like Orlando Furioso, or paint annunciations. Well, I had David in the wings. David was a Jew, even a Hebrew. He wasn't quite Jewish. You're quite something else. I had Mahler, Einstein, and Freud. I didn't want those three then. I wanted Shelley and Byron, Keats, Shakespeare, Mozart, Monet. I wanted Botticelli and Fra Angelico. Excuse me. Gotta take a breath. There, you have chosen some hard ones for me to connect to, but why not admit that I gave you the life of the mind as a thing to aspire to? And where did you go to find your freedom? To New York, which was full of me? Would have been funnier if I kept it in. Anyway, I do know your good qualities, at least good things you did for me when I was 10 years old. How you brought Judaism in to give ceremony to everyday things and surprise and symbolism and things beyond understanding. In the synagogue where I was excited by you, a rescuer of me from the flatness of life. But then the flatness got you, and I let it keep you. And perhaps of all things known, that was most ignorant. You sound like Yeats, but you're not. Well, happy voyage home, Kenneth, to the parking lot of understood experience. I'll be here if you need me. Here after you don't need anything else. Here is a quality I have and have had for you and for a lot of others, just by being it since you were born. The Jewishness. Even Steph laughed at that one. Thank you, Kenneth Koch. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for making me Jewish. And go check out Kenneth Koch's poems. Have a wonderful evening.